Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. This is the South Carolina College Baseball video recap for Wednesday, April the 30th. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to stand up a little bit. Sporting my USC Salkehatchie shirt. Former Indians coach Bubba Dorman gave it to me a few years back. He was appreciative of what I tried to do at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. And I'm appreciative of Bubba for letting me have this shirt. Hope he's doing well in retirement. Anyway, let's take a look at the college baseball action that did happen on Wednesday. There were two regular season games. Over at Founders Field in Rock Hill, Harrison Wilson doubled twice and drove in 3 runs as Winthrop beat Wofford 5-3. The Eagles have now won 5 straight games. They're 26-21. Wofford fell to 25-21. Elsewhere, Landon Penfield's 2-run double capped a 5-run 4th inning for College of Charleston, and the Cougars beat Georgia Southern by a score of 8-3. Ethan Plyler had a single, a triple, a walk, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. In tournament play, Drake Timms pitched a 4-hit complete game, and Columbia International stayed alive in the Appalachian Athletic Conference by beating Bluefield by a score of 4-1. Timms pitched 9 innings. He only gave up the 1 run, and he has pitched well lately. In his last 9 starts, he has not allowed more than 2 earned runs. The Rams, with that win, stay alive. They'll advance to another 9 o'clock game on Thursday against Pikeville. We'll get into that later on. Also in tournament play on Wednesday, Dillard scored 3 runs in the 7th inning to take a 3-run lead. Voorhees scored 2 runs in the top of the 8th, got the potential tying run on base in the 9th, but could not get him across, and Dillard held on to win by a score of 4-3 in the first round of the HBCU Athletic Conference Tournament in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Keelan Sloan doubled in 2 runs for the Tigers, and as I say, they got a runner on base with 2 outs in the 9th, but the young man tried to steal second base and got thrown out to end the game. Voorhees will play Wilberforce Thursday at a time to be determined. I'll get into the reason for that later on. Those are the only games involving state teams played on Wednesday. Now, there were a couple of games played in the Conference Carolinas tournament that will impact state teams tomorrow. In the play-in round game, Emmanuel eliminated Shorter 9-6, and Mount Olive eliminated King 9-6. Those teams head into the 8-team double elimination part of the Conference Carolinas tournament. Most of those games are going to be played in Caramont Health Park in Gastonia, and there's one game each day being played at Sims Legion Park in Gastonia. Before we get into Thursday's schedule, I want to check on a few notes as it is. After South Carolina's win over Charleston Southern on Wednesday night, Coach Paul Maneri said that right fielder Ethan Petrie may miss the remainder of the season. As you may recall, Petrie injured his left shoulder when he ran into a wall while trying to field a ball during the first game of Saturday's doubleheader up at Kentucky. He stayed in the game on defense, came up to bat in the next inning, and after taking the ball, swung, popped up, and he didn't even get out of the batter's box. He was in obvious pain. They took him out. He's not played since. Excuse me. After Tuesday's game, Coach Maneri said he's got a strain of the AC joint in his left shoulder, and Coach Maneri said that typically takes 2 to 4 weeks to heal. So he says there's a good chance he could be done for the year, but he did say maybe he will get back for the last series or the SEC tournament. We'll have to see. Petrie's batting .329 with 10 homers and 34 RBIs. He has a .338 career batting average with 54 homers. Of course, he was pursuing Justin Smoke's school record of 62 home runs, and up until the last 3 or 4 weeks when he really hadn't done much in the way of home runs, it looked like he had a chance, but now, of course, even with the injury, that means it's not going to be very likely at all, unless he should come back next season, and I don't see that happening with his pro potential. Also involving the Gamecocks, they're going to honor 3 of their College World Series teams this weekend. Before Friday night's game against Florida, the Gamecocks are going to honor the 1975 College World Series team. That was the first USC team to make it to Omaha. I happen to have the privilege of covering that team. It was a great experience out there. It's what helped me fall in love with the College World Series. Then on Saturday, the Gamecocks are going to honor their 2 national championship teams from 2010 and 2011. That will be in conjunction with the Saturday afternoon game against Florida. Of course, the Gamecocks beat Florida in the National Championship Series in 2011. Speaking of the 2011 championship game and 2010, ESPN announced on Wednesday that it's going to produce, or it's going to start airing, a SEC storied feature titled In Spirit. It's going to be on beginning May the 14th. It is documenting the 2010-11 national championship teams for the Gamecocks. First airing will be on May 14th on the SEC network. Jake Williams, who was in left field for the Gamecocks in that 2011 championship series, is a Riverside High grad, and he's going to be the producer of that program. Williams started his career at Wofford, transferred over to Carolina, and was a valuable part of that national championship team. In fact, for those of you with a long memory, he made a great play in the 10th inning of Game 1 to throw out the potential go-ahead run at home plate in the 10th inning to keep the Gamecocks in the game. And, of course, they wound up going on to win the series. But anyway, that's going to be coming up in May. The feature is also going to go into the fact that that team would visit several kids who are in the hospital. Coach Ray Tanner, one of the guys, to kind of get an appreciation for how good they have it compared to some other folks. And so they really developed a relationship with a couple of young men there like that. Also, speaking back to the 1975 team, excuse me, I'm going through some allergy issues or something. Paul Maneri's coach, Demi Maneri, his dad, Demi Maneri, was a longtime coach at Miami-Dade College North. It was a junior college power. And a couple of players on the 1975 UFC College World Series team played for Demi Maneri at Miami-Dade North. They were Greg Keatley, who was the everyday catcher for that team, and also Stephen Cook, who's one of the star outfielders on the team. Just a little interesting Maneri connection to Carolina. Also, while looking up this, trying to find this information, I found out the fact that as of April of 2024, don't know if this has changed since then, Greg Keatley has made the most appearances in a major league game without either getting an at-bat or a pinch running appearance. He got in on defense twice but never got to the plate. Interesting, but I know that's something unusual. I just happened to stumble across that. But anyway, moving on from Wednesday's scores and that little bit of trivia about USC, let's look at Thursday's schedule. No regular season games involving state teams on Thursday, but there are 4 tournaments going on. In the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament up in Kingsport, Tennessee, Columbia International is going to be playing Reinhardt at 9 a.m. After that will be, and I don't even have it up to date, there'll be 3 other games after that. But Columbia International will be playing at 9 o'clock. In the Conference Carolinas tournament in Gastonia at Caramont Health Park, I mentioned Emmanuel and Mount Olive qualified for the regular portion of the tournament. Emmanuel will play Francis Marion at 11 o'clock at Caramont Health Park. Following that at 3 o'clock, Young Harris is playing Mount Olive, and at 7 o'clock, Belmont Abbey is playing Barton. Over at Sims Legion Park, North Greenville will open this tournament quest against UNC Pembroke at 1 o'clock. In the HBCU AC tournament out at Dickey Stevens Park in North Little Rock, Arkansas, the bane of everything that a tournament director wants to happen happened. They had a lot of rain. They got in 2 and about 3/4 of a game, but the final game, the next to last game, and the last game were suspended until Thursday. Here's what the schedule looks like for now. Stillman in Southern New Orleans will complete their suspended game at 9:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Central Time, of course. Southern leads that game 8-3 in the top of the 8th. Southern is the lower seed. They're the 6th seed. Stillman's the 3. Riley and Rust, who are supposed to play tonight at about 8 o'clock, will play at 10:20 a.m. tomorrow. Following that, Wilberforce will play Voorhees in an elimination game 30 minutes after Game 4 ends. 30 minutes after Wilberforce and Voorhees complete, there'll be Game 6, which will be the Game 3 loser, Southern or Stillman, against the Game 4 loser, Wiley or Rust. Then at Game 7 will be Dillard versus Talladega, 30 minutes after that Game 6. And at some point they will play Game 8, probably get pushed back to Friday, even if they have good weather. And hopefully they won't be able to get back into on schedule, closer to schedule anyway. And the other game going on involving State School on Thursday, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Tournament begins at Luther Williams Field in Macon. Benedict opens up at 9 o'clock against Savannah State. Tuskegee plays Edward Waters at noon. Spring Hill, the regular season champion, plays Lane at 3 o'clock. And Miles plays Albany State at 6 o'clock. I know most of our state teams seem to be getting these early starts. I tell you, if I was still working for a newspaper, I would love it because you'd have plenty of time to make deadlines. But that's neither here nor there. Newspapers are basically dead these days for live sporting events anyway. The South Atlantic Conference and the Peach Belt Conference tournaments will begin on Friday at home team sites, and then there's a pretty good schedule of Division I games involving state schools also beginning on Friday. But for now, this is the video recap for South Carolina College Baseball for April the 30th. Tomorrow will be May. How about that? Anyway, thanks for listening to this. You can always get coverage at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. You can follow my updates on X under the handle of Palmetto Base. And for now, this is Rudy Jones saying good night. Jesus loves you.